Hello everyone, and welcome to Rock Studios. I'm Stan Miller. I'm PR and Analyst Relations Manager for Rockwell Automation in the EMEA region. And I'm joined today by Mogens Brusgaard. He is the CEO of Wexøe. Mogens, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, happy to be here. Thank you a lot.
So Mogens, today we're here to talk about driving sustainability in industrial automation and getting your CEO perspective. It's such an important topic, but before we get into it, could you tell us a little bit about Wexøe?
Well, we are a Danish-Swedish company, so we are from Scandinavia and we are the official Rockwell Automation value-added distributor there. And you can say I represent a region where sustainability has been a hot topic for several years, 6-7 years, and so it's really on top of our mind. But otherwise, we are a normal automation supplier and a normal automation value chain, where this push from the market has been driving some of our initiatives the last couple of years.
I can't think of a better executive so well positioned to talk with on this topic, so I can't wait to get into the questions. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How is the growing focus on sustainability reshaping the way industrial automation companies operate and innovate? And where do you see the biggest opportunities as well as challenges in the transition?
Well, let me start with your last question first. For me, sustainability is representing, if not the biggest, but at least a major opportunity for us as a value chain. I mean, I can't see any industry, whatever they are placed in the world, reaching any of their ambitions and target without addressing us, or we addressing them to find a way to support them. The first wave in our region, when it comes to push from the market, was first of all for consumers getting into their industry. They wanted decent packaging, they didn't want all the plastic stuff going on. And you can say second wave that pushed us was actually documentation. The documentation wave have been on our mind the last couple of years, because many famous industries, also some of them you have here in US, has been want to calculate their baseline before they set any target for the future, how much CO2 footprint they want to save the world for. So the baseline calculation is the need of data and the need of documentation. So that has been a push on our shoulders for I would say the last 5 years.
That's really interesting. And to your point, right, if you don't know where you want to go until you know where you are.
Exactly.
So having that baseline, that insight based on data, then you can really build a strategy. Am I understanding that correctly?
Absolutely correctly, and I can say also, having this topic on mind and people calling us for help and support, we obviously also need to have order in our own house. So we have invested in sustainability management for growth. We have invested obviously in our own calculations and set our own ambitions also for the area. Because otherwise it will be a little bit of empty air visiting these kind of customers. So
that makes sense. Mogens, many large corporations now are committing to science-based targets. And I have a question about that, but before I even get into that, could you just explain what a science-based target is for our audience?
Yeah. For those who are not familiar with it, it's nearly mentioned here, it's science-based. So what's happening is, I think it's right now around 12,000 companies around the world that have been setting in some very ambitious targets, short-term and long-term. And they are going to be validated by scientists. And right now I think it's around 9,000 companies that's got their data validated and their journey validated. So that's on a very, very ambitious and high level done by senior management. So in many cases that ambition is not yet dropped down to the technicians we talk to on the factory floor and so on. So that is going on the next couple of years. So many of them have set targets short term, and there are so many easy wins for us as a business. I'll cover that in a while. But the long-term one is of the ambitions really need us to help them innovate, because it's not simple. It's not just energy. It's not just packaging. It's so much more to get there. So their target is a net zero in 2050, and that's difficult.
It's interesting. So let me maybe drill down a little bit deeper into the question. How do these science-based targets, ambitions, how do they cascade through the value chain, and what role do partnerships and ecosystems play in this whole calculation?
good question, I will say, because when we're looking ahead for the biggest target, 2015, it goes beyond value chain. So that's why the innovation part is really important. But where we are right now, it really, if we have the courage to call the companies, I can tell you can just look at their homepages. They're all very happy to show their ambitions, where they're gonna go. I'm not sure the normal persons we are talking to out there are familiar with these targets from their top management. So if you have the courage to visit them and have a kind of 360 degrees talk, and that could be everything from your consolidated shipment to packaging to solutions. I mean, the greenest energy is the one you don't use. So if you can save your energy consumption, and in my backyard here, there's tons of solutions that can help customers saving energy consumption. There are AI software to predict. There are life cycle services when it comes to remanufacturing, etc. So there's a lot of stuff where we as a value chain can support, but even though they need to go beyond.
Love that. The greenest energy is that the energy you don't use. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah.
As these science-based target commitments drive more strict sustainability targets, how is this influencing procurement priorities and buying behavior?
Then I start again with the consumer. In our region, we see a lot of DIYs. They're actually already, next to the price, have a CO2 equivalent on products, on a product basis. Whether that is facts-based or calculated, I'm not sure. So the risk is that they don't compare apples to apples, but we see that already. When it comes to business and our professional business, we primarily see governmental businesses and tenders, where not only pricing, not only operation cost, not only quality, but also your capabilities within sustainability is weighted and measured. When it comes to the industry, it's still in a level where they ask for documentation very much, and our capability to deliver on the whole sustainable agenda.
Well, when you're having conversations with customers who are trying to understand the complexity of these dynamics, I guess, where does that conversation start in your experience? And then how does it evolve?
First of all, I would love to understand their ambitions, because many times it's done by, for some of them in our region, it's heartfelt. Some of them is regulation driven. Some of them is attracting investors, because you don't, and I do think a lot of, on the stock exchange companies, if they want to attract investors, they need to have this agenda on top of mind. In Europe, we also have regulation when it comes to a lot of the finance institutes. So we do see in our region that the finance institutes differ the interest rate. So if I want to lend money, I can have a better rate if it's to a sustainable initiative than just normal loan of money. So it drives a lot of things. So I will start on that level, try if I can get into guys like or girls like myself, ladies, and see, hey, what drives your ambition? What of these categories is attracting? And then you ask them, have you made a decent plan how to get there, or are you open to listening? Are you open to listening to ideas, how you can get at least the first quantum leap, because that is what's needed? Do you have time for listening? Because we have a lot of solutions on our shelves that really will support your journey.
Excellent insight. Mogens, with the upcoming Eco-Design for Sustainable Products regulation, you were speaking about regulation, and then the introduction of digital product passports, companies are going to need to disclose this detailed sustainability information. Now, my understanding that these are European regulations, but will they have a global ripple effect?
For sure. First of all, they are European for one reason or another. But if you want to export, for example, a US-based machine to Europe, you need to have this documentation in place for the whole machine, not only the individual products. So it will have an effect. There's a lack in this regulation about what kind of data is needed and how do you calculate it. So when that is done, we can compare apples to apples. What we do ask for is the CO2 footprint in a lifetime of a product, and we do ask for the recycling potential. So on your shelf, here at Rockwell, you have thousands of products that was invented last year, or the years before. And also these need to be documented. For sure, in your new development, you have built in this circularity from the beginning. So you have all that done on new product lines from the beginning. So from cradle to cradle, so to speak.
Excellent. I guess one last question I'd have for you, connecting back to the ESPR discussion.
Yeah.
How do you see this dynamic shaping transparency, trust, and innovation when it comes to the industrial automation space?
Well, I would say it's exactly what it does, because I visited the Automation Fair 2 years ago and asked for these passport, and you were not there at all as Rockwell, and I've been here now throughout this week, and I'm so damn sorry, my friends, impressed of the quantum leap you have been taking as a company. I've been down on the booth, I've been to several sessions where I can see that you're ready. You are, in most cases, ready with that passport. So I'm sure also for you, just to make that documentation, you had to go back to legal. Hey, are we allowed to share with the whole world what kinds of substance, what kind of electronic, what our power consumption? It's complicated stuff, because how much, you're having a big production, you're having a PLC going down the line, and how do you calculate exact how much power that's go to that manufacturing of this particular PLC? It's complicated stuff, and going into that is very open-minded, and share what you do, and actually share and care as you have been doing. I'm very impressed of the major steps you have been taking in the last 2 years.
Thanks for that, Mogens. And really, this has been a great discussion. Thank you so much for sharing your insight into such an important topic. And always, thank you for joining us in the studio today.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you for watching. If you'd like to learn more about industrial automation, digital transformation, and the future of industrial operations, visit rockwellautomation.com.